welcome to First and Filoni. This is Donovan and Filoni. As always, joined with me, Andrew Cooper. How's it going, man?
What's up, dude?
Not much, man. Sorry we missed last week, but it was a good time to spend with family. Unfortunately, both Andrew and I were sick, so we really didn't want to get on and record here. And it was an okay rivalry weekend. I think everybody kind of knew everything. But we'll get into the show here. First, I want to talk about the coaching carousel. So we're going to do a show a little bit different since it is conference championship week. We're only going to have three sections. First, we're going to talk about coaching carousel because I feel like a lot has happened in this last, I don't know, week, 5 days. Um, some of the major hires: Lane Kiffin to LSU, James Franklin to Virginia Tech, John Summerall to Florida, Alex Golesh to Auburn, Chesney to UCLA, Silverfield to Arkansas, Morris to Oklahoma State, Willie Stein to Kentucky, Padula, or was it Padulo to staying at Ole Miss um, for their as their defensive corner, same as the head coach, and then Brian Hartline to University of South Florida. So some teams still don't have a coach yet, and the plot is running out here. So, as out of all the coaches here that have been hired, man, which one do you think is going to have the biggest impact as a whole? Not saying like right away, but like just in their tenure at their coaching. Which one do you think has the best career?
Uh, obviously, everybody's going to say Lane Kiffin because he's going to have the money to do what he wants.
Right.
Lane Kiffin, he's always been able to coach no matter where he's been. Look at Florida Atlantic.
Yep.
But I want to harp on one, and you can call me crazy, but James Franklin, Virginia Tech,
Dude,
to me,
yes, that was my answer too.
number number
100%.
20, number 22 to 23 recruiting class, and I mean
22.
he's flipping guys from, the SEC or whatever. And
Dude,
don't quote me, but I like what he said today. He wants to bring back the energy to where back in the day, you came to Virginia Tech, you were going to get your butt whooped playing hard-nosed
yeah,
football. So me,
dude,
not being, like a true legit Virginia Tech fan, but it's also good to see that he's getting ready to come in
yes.
there and try to pour a lot of energy into a great historic program that we're not used to seeing what they've been doing the last 6 to 7 years.
Dude, 100%. That was 100% my answer, right? I was wondering if you're going to say it as well, but like you said, they're already number 22 in the nation when they started off 126 before he got hired. He's taking literally all of the 4 and 5 stars out of Virginia. Like I feel like every recruit that he's flipped that's been a 4 or 5 star has been Virginia lately. Keeping what is it? Keeping Virginia best in VA stays in VA. I think that was the hashtag they're using.
Yeah,
He's also flipped like a ton of 4 stars from Penn State to Virginia Tech, and Penn State's recruiting class is now like ranked like 138, like which is insane because they've been a top 10 feature every single year under Franklin. I mean, I think if he has a good transfer portal class this year, nobody's beating him in the ACC. Like there's just no way. I mean, you can get all these 4 and 5 star freshmen come in, and that'll be good and all, and they can play right away, and that'll be good. But if he gets a good like a couple juniors, sophomores, and seniors from the transfer portal to kind of like lead the way and some good like locker room guys with that, like why not Virginia Tech being in the playoff next year? Why not them winning the ACC?
yeah, I definitely think that they're definitely going to make a lot of noise next year. I'm not saying, year one, they're going to win the ACC title, but
Top three?
oh no, but they will be contending. I'm not saying they're going to win,
Yeah.
but they're going to win a lot of games that, that they should be winning.
Well, my thing is like who in the ACC is going to take it? We know Clemson's probably not. Louisville, Jeff Brom's staying at Louisville apparently, so maybe them, maybe Miami, but they're going to have to get another transfer quarterback. I
Maybe
mean,
Pitt.
maybe Pitt with the freshman quarterback who's I mean, he's really good. I mean, who else is it? Like I feel like ACC's gone downhill. UVA, maybe
Um, Georgia Tech. I mean,
Georgia Tech, I guess, but Haynes
we
King's gone next
always,
year, I think.
we
So
always, we always, talk about. I just feel like every year. we always talk about these big name schools in the ACC, and I just feel like here lately that whenever we do hype up the main four or five,
Yeah.
it's always a wild card that's in there competing. So
Yeah. Duke.
I don't even want to take a shot because I mean, look at the. I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but you know,
Hmm.
if, if you got a five-loss Duke team that beats Virginia in the ACC championship, guess where they're going?
They're not going to the playoff. It'll be JMU, buddy. JMU will
Well,
take that last conference champ spot.
that's what I was getting at.
Yep.
Look at where they're going. They're going to go to a good bowl, but guess who sneaks in?
Right. That's what I'm cheering for,
So,
buddy. Remember we talked about it, what, 4 weeks ago, the doomsday scenario, and I'll be damned if it didn't happen. You better be cheering for UVA if you want ACC representation, my friend.
yeah.
No, I mean, another one for me that I think will have a big impact. Maybe not year one, but maybe year two once he gets his guys in is Willie Stein. This one came out of nowhere from me. He offensive coordinator from Oregon. Within, everybody thought Bob Stoops was going to stay there again. Another bad season, another huge loss to Louisville. But then he got fired, and within 48 hours, they got Willie Stein, and then they did it so quiet and so under the radar that they must have wanted him from the jump. And we're used to seeing a good defensive team in Kentucky. We're about to see some fireworks in the SEC with Kentucky, especially where they're
Well, they're
located. I think
going
they have a great stadium, underrated stadium. They have an underrated fan base. I mean, watch out for Kentucky not being the laughing stock, but for 1 or 2 years.
well, that was another one too. I mean, if we're going to stay in the ACC, I think you really need to get
SEC.
in. I mean, the SEC, excuse me. I think if you really want to dig deep into it, and I'm not going to say next year, but I'm going to say maybe year two, year three. Watch out for Alex Golish.
Okay, see, I
I think you're going to see a Gus Malzahn ran offense back when Malzahn was in his prime at Auburn, high, fast pace, and he already said today that he's
yeah.
going to run the freaking ball.
So my biggest concern with that is a lot of his top offensive lineman recruits have already left because of the style of ball he plays, which might not be a bad thing because he does play a very, very high tempo place. And I like Alex Golish, but I just worry that, is so cursed, man. You could be right. I don't
What
know, man.
about all right? Well, what about Chesney? Do you think he's ready for the prime time?
I think he is. I wish he would have gone to Penn State.
Yeah, I
Because the
feel like if he would
UCLA,
have went,
I don't know if they're going to pump into NIL that UCLA will
well,
need to compete.
I just feel like if he would have went to Penn State, even if it was for 4 years, whatever they could pay, with him doing the renovations to the stadium, they could have pumped in some money to the NIL to get,
Yeah.
the players. I just don't think UCLA was the fit for him.
Yeah, I just worry that we're going to see him back in a G5 school. I mean, he's a great coach, don't get me wrong, and he can win anywhere he goes, and he probably will win at UCLA, but it all just depends on because there's no donors for UCLA, or I mean, there's tons of donors for UCLA, but no donors donating to football, and there just doesn't seem like a priority for them when their basketball program and baseball and softball are always really good. So I just worry about that. I would have chose Penn State over UCLA, but that's just me.
So what does
Um,
Penn State do now? Stick with Terry Smith?
well, yeah, I mean that's we talk about that next. Is like who does Penn State get now? Because I mean all of the coaches are pretty much gone at this point. I have two ideas that are kind of far-fetched. Um, but do you have any ideas first? I want to see if they're the same because I'll feed off of your answer there.
I mean, off the top of my head, I don't really know. I mean, you could go Ed Orgeron maybe.
So rumor
We all
has
know
it
he's
Tulane
going
might be
somewhere.
getting him, and if Tulane gets Ed Orgeron, buddy, Tulane's about to be in the SEC.
I mean,
So the two names that I'm thinking, the first one is Brian Dable. He's already been linked to it. He's already been linked to conversations. Jeff Brom
yeah,
just
that's
turned
right.
it down
He got
today.
fired.
Huh?
He got fired from the Giants. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
So and he would be a perfect fit there. I think he has family that goes to Penn State, or he has some kind of connection to Penn State. So I think he would be a great fit. And I think the game is very similar to the NFL nowadays, and I think an NFL coach would be fine there. My biggest thing is if he wants an NFL job, he has to wait. And maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's what Penn State wants. But they're losing out on recruiting, and they have to get him before the transfer portal. So Brian Dable will be my first one. But the call that I would make this week, especially everything that happened, would be to Mike Tomlin, right? NFL, all the Steeler fans. I mean, I've been calling for his coaching job for the last 5 years, but every single Steeler fan online, even the former players, Ben Roethlisberger and Debo James Harrison, have already called for Tomlin to be fired. We know Tomlin is a player's coach and he's a great recruiter in the NFL. So, what is college football? What's the difference in college football? He's going to be recruiting players. He's won a Super Bowl. He has that pedigree of being a player's coach and being a good coach in that aspect of it. It might be just a time for a change for the Steelers to, let him go, and maybe he walks to Penn State. And I think that would be a great fit. He already lives in Pennsylvania, already knows the way around. He's lived there for 20 years. And I think that would be a great, like, just overall fit that nobody's talking about until this week.
Hmm.
And me as a Steeler fan, I would love it for him to leave because I'm tired of the shit.
So does he walk away or do they fire him?
So that's the thing. Steelers don't fire coaches, and they fired an offensive coordinator for the first time, like pretty much ever last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, before they got Artie Smith. And I don't think they're gonna fire Tomlin, but the feel in Pittsburgh is like if you're booing Renegade, if you're booing in the fourth quarter and you're blowing halftime leads, like that's just not Steeler football, and everybody's calling for his name. So I think he might just end up leaving. And the signs have kind of been on the wall for him to leave over the last couple of years, anyways. He's been rumored to a lot of places.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah,
mean, I can see him
I don't
there.
really, I don't really keep up with the NFL as much. So.
Yeah. I mean, could you see Tomlin there though? Like he's a great recruiter of players. Like
Well, I mean, he's a player's coach. I mean, I could see him. I mean, I can see it, but I just don't think it's before the portal.
no, and I think an NFL team, if he did want to leave, would scoop him up pretty quickly if he wanted.
But I mean, if he's the thing with Penn State right now, to me, if I'm the AD and the president of Penn State, I want somebody in there now because you got the portal
Well,
coming
yeah.
up.
And signing day was
Unless,
today.
unless you're going to stick with Terry Smith. I mean, apparently that's who the kids want anyway. So,
Well, they could go with Terry Smith for maybe a year and kind of get a head jump on everything next year. Because this year was there was a lot of jobs that opened up this year, man. Like a ton of jobs. So they could be waiting for next year, even though they were one of the first ones who let go. I don't know, man. I feel like they struck out on a bunch of coaches. Like, uh, I still think Matt Rule is still in play, even though he signed that extension. But they struck out on Matt Rule, Jeff Brom, Signetti. But I mean, Lincoln Riley was there. Kalani Sataki from BYU was in the mix. Like, I just Chesney was in the mix. I feel like they just had their opportunity and just kind of missed it. But let's go ahead and continue here, and just two more questions on the coaching carousel. We can go through these ones pretty quick. Who's gonna have the fastest impact? And I think both you and I kind of already talked about it, and maybe you have a different answer, but I think it's James Franklin. With everybody he's flipping already, and if he gets a good transfer portal, I think Virginia Tech will be fast rising. But another one to look out for is Morris going to Oklahoma State. If he brings anything from North Texas over to Oklahoma State, just watch out. Oklahoma State has a history for being a high flying offense, and to bring that back, I think we'll get the fans and NIL back into it, and I think they could be, up there in the next year or two, and towards the top of the Big 12 again.
yeah, I can see that.
You think Golish, fastest impact?
I don't know, man. It's so dang tough. Yeah, I just feel like I'm gonna stick with Golish. I don't want to go away from that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a pretty good one too. And then the last question is, which one is going to be the worst hire? I have two. So Silverfield for me, for Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Like Memphis was already good before Silverfield got there, and I don't think he did anything to make Memphis
No,
any
he
better.
inherited. He inherited what Fuente got
Norvell, yeah.
or Norvell.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like I don't think he made Memphis better, did he?
I don't think so.
So, and I just that hire just did not make sense to me. I think they messed up when Golish they were linked to Golish and then they leaked it, and then Golish got upset and pulled his name out of there before going to Auburn. But I don't know what they're doing there. And then Ole Miss as well. Supposedly Ole Miss knew that Lane Kiffin was leaving 10 days before the Egg Bowl. And if you knew that, like, why keep him there and coach? Like, you need to let him go and get your coaching search going. Like, I understand you're in the middle of a title run, and maybe you thought you could convince him to stay, but Lane's always going to go for the money. He always has in his career. This is what he does at every single stop that he's been at. He leaves in a crazy, chaotic way. If you look at every single place that he left, USC, Oakland Raiders, Alabama, Tennessee, like every place he's been, or I'm sorry, FAU, like every place he's been has been crazy when he's left. And if you knew that before, like, why didn't you try to talk to somebody else? Like, I feel like they could have got John Summerall before Florida did, but I don't know. I feel like they missed out too.
Well, the guy that's the defensive coordinator, I think that's who they've hired.
Yeah, no, it's their own defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think that's kind of who they wanted to succeed him anyway. I mean, he was coaching underneath what Saban and all that at Bama.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But their defense isn't that great. Like that's why I don't really understand it. Like,
I think when he was at Bama, their defenses weren't even top tier then, was it?
no, I mean, I don't think so. I don't know much about the guy, so I don't know. I thought that was a weird hire there. Maybe it was just that was the only one left and um they just didn't want to chance it, I guess. But
Can't
okay.
even,
So that again.
can't even think of the guy's name. I literally,
It starts with a P, and I can't. It doesn't matter. Like he's not going to be there long. Um, okay. Next one here. Superlatives of the week. So player of the week from the last 2 weeks. Um, I feel like this one. If we're talking last week alone, like I feel like this one has to go to just Ohio State. Like Ohio State's offensive line. Everybody was talking about how Michigan was their daddy and how Michigan can has just dominated them for 2,000 some odd days. And then they just had a little bit of a scare in the first quarter, but then they just dominated the rest of the game. Like from second quarter on, like it was all Ohio State. Like I feel like the whole time. So I feel like Ohio State Ryan Day gets Player of the Week because they finally got over that hump.
yeah, if you're going to do the last 2 weeks, I could see that. I mean, if we're going to do superlatives for individual players, I have one.
Go
That's my boy Will Wilson.
ahead. Okay.
Showed Daddy Bill who the real daddy is in North Carolina. True freshman backup quarterback with 10 carries for 54 yards and 4 touchdowns. Come on, man.
Jeez.
And the bad thing
Jeez.
is they knew it was coming the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Game of the week, man. Who you got for your
And,
game of the week?
and side note, did you see who was in the building at Carter Finley Stadium
Uh-uh.
Saturday night on a recruiting visit?
Who's that?
Gunnar Rivers.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, bring it back. Where's Jericho Cotchery's son? We need to
Well, you want
get
to know
that
what the
connection back.
kicker is to all this?
Hmm.
His running back right now in high school just committed to NC State today.
Uh-oh. Philip Rivers gonna be new head coach?
Well, he is their head coach of their high school.
That's what I'm saying. You guys have been calling
I think
for
you're
the
going to get one
head.
more. You're going to get one more trash ass season out of Dorn, and he's gone. He'll retire.
Philip Rivers to NC State head coach. You heard it here first.
Wouldn't
Next
that be?
year, have all of his 47 kids come through the program and
I think it's great. Great for Raleigh.
all right, game of the week, man. What was your game of the week from last week?
I wish I could say the Texas A&M game, but that was a shocker.
See, I don't think it really was because of the way they played against South Carolina. Texas punched them in the mouth and they didn't know what to do about it. They haven't played a defense all year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can
I
say
thought
that.
the Georgia Tech game was fun. I thought Georgia, the way they've been playing, was going to blow them out, but something about Brent Key, man, like out, he's got those boys ready to go. Like, I think they were going to win at any point? Probably not, but they kept it within 7 points, and I thought
Yeah, I think it was
it
like,
wasn't as good as last year's game where they went to eight overtimes, but it was still a pretty good
yeah,
game overall.
I think it was like what 16-9 or something like that.
Yeah,
Oklahoma LSU game was good. Bama and Auburn was good. Let's see. Other than that, I mean, you had California upset SMU too. So
yeah. All right, winners of the week, man. I'll start off here. My winners of the week is Virginia Tech fans, man. They have to be like with all this week that's coming up, everybody coming up, switching their commitment and 4 stars, 5 stars here and there to Virginia Tech. Like even when Frank Beamer was at his best, he was not getting 4 and 5 stars. He was taking the 3 star guys and the unwanted guys and making them into a great team. And now they're getting a top 25 recruiting class within a 1 month of a hire. Virginia Tech fans are the winners of the week for me. And then, LSU as well. They got their guy. I don't know how long he'll be there, but they got their guy at least for now. So those are my two winners of the week.
yeah, I'm with you, dude. I gotta stay high on Virginia Tech right now.
They've
I
just done the
mean,
best this offseason so far.
yeah. I mean, to me, if I was to really put a true grade on a program other than LSU, it's got to be Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so I mean we can go down and do the grades of the hires. So Virginia Tech I think is A plus. LSU I think is probably an A. I mean you have to with Kiffin. He was the hottest name in the market. Um, Summerall to Florida, I think is probably a B, B plus. And the only reason why I have it that low is because they did the same thing with um, what's his name? Napier 4 years ago. I think Summerall more defensive guy, so I think that fits Florida's culture a lot more. But we'll see there. Goalish to Auburn, I think is probably a B as well. I just worry that Auburn's just a cursed place. Chesney to UCLA, I think is C plus. Silverfield to Arkansas, I think is a D. Stein to Kentucky, I think is an B plus or an A. I mean, good. We can kind of go up on there. Um, and I guess that's really about it. Penn State's an F at this point. Like they're just, I don't know what they're doing. So, I mean, do you disagree with any of those grades? Like for
No.
Okay, losers of the week, man. And I mean, it's Penn State. Like they're losing recruits. They don't have a coach. They're losing. They've lost out on all of the good coaches, it seems, unless they're pulling somebody from the NFL. I mean, the losers of the week again is Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State and Florida State with Mike Norvell for me.
So their report came out today that FSU tried to get Lane Kiffin. They put their
Oh,
name in the
really?
hat, but I guess it never went through,
Hmm.
which is very interesting. So, all right, man. Well, let's get into this game picks and then get out of here a little early. Um, I mean, I'm not even gonna go up the records. You're up 20 games on me this year. You win the regular season award by a landslide with game picks. So if you're following him all year, I think he had close to 100 wins total
Oh, right.
throughout the way, and I think I was at like 80. So um, Andrew crushed me this year. So we got five championship games. We can add in the sixth one with JMU and Troy if you want, but um, we'll start in the American, the G5. And then we'll talk a little bit of playoffs at the end. So Tulane versus North Texas. North Texas is favored by 2.5. Um, you know what? I think this might be a shootout. Give me North Texas. I think they squeak this one out here.
Yeah, I'm going North Texas.
Big 12 championship game. BYU Texas Tech rematch. Texas Tech's favored by 12.5 points. I don't foresee Texas Tech losing.
Nah, staying with the Red Raiders.
SEC Georgia versus Bama rematch again. Georgia's favored by 2.5. I think if Georgia can stay to what their game plan is and just focus on making Bama run the ball, then Georgia will win. But I don't know. I don't foresee Bama. Bama needs to win this game. Georgia doesn't to stay in the playoffs. So I'm going Bama here.
Yeah, for some reason in SEC championship games, Bama's got Georgia's number,
Yeah,
and I don't think it changes. I think you're going to see Bama squeak this one out again, and Kirby Smart has another disappointment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so as well. So Big Ten, Indiana versus Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by four points. Ohio State doesn't care about this game, but I don't even think they've even cracked their playbook yet. Indiana, this would be the first time ever winning the Big Ten in football. I'm going Ohio State here. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think Ohio State by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I wanted to go with Kurt and the boys, man, but I just
They're so
after a
good, man.
after a close call against Penn State, I mean Ohio State's on a roll. It's going to be very difficult for me to go against them.
Yeah. And then finally, the horror story continues for the ACC. Duke versus UVA. And no, this is not basketball, folks. This is college football. Um, Who you got, man? UVA's favored by 3.5. I'm going for full chaos. I'm going Duke here.
Yeah, I figured you were.
And I hate UVA, so I can't pick them.
I think you got a healthy Chandler Morris, a quarterback for UVA. I'm gonna go UVA.
I think they will too. And if UVA wins, they're going to be in the playoff, and I don't know. So let's look at here and take a look at the playoff here as well, because the rankings came out on Tuesday last night, and they're very interesting here. I think the top four makes sense with Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech. I think if any one of them lose, like Ohio State, Indiana, whoever loses is going to go to 3 or 4. If Georgia loses, they'll drop down to maybe 5 or 6. If Texas Tech loses, they'll maybe go to 8 or 9. I don't foresee them going any further than that. And then this is where it gets interesting. Number 5 is Oregon, which I, I mean, okay, I guess they're 11-1, but I still don't really know who they've beaten. Ole Miss 11-1, same thing. Texas A&M 11-1, same thing. I mean, they're 11-1. That's where they deserve to be. So I guess that makes sense. This is where it gets interesting. Oklahoma's at number 8 with 10-2, right? They have probably the best defense of the two lost teams, but their offense can't score with anybody. They deserve to be in, but I don't know. Nine's Alabama, 10 is Notre Dame, 11's BYU, 12's Miami, 13's Texas, 14's Vanderbilt. UVA is at 17, Tulane's at 20, North Texas is at 24, and JMU is at 25. All right, so what are your reactions with that playoff, with the rankings? What does it tell you? What are your first like gut feeling what this committee's trying to do?
And I kind of want to think that they're stacking it, but I think they're going to go off quality of wins and strength of schedule more than anything. That's why you're going to see some teams get left out that you think would be in.
Right. So you have the conversation here, right? So there's two conversations. There's the Texas Vanderbilt conundrum, where Vanderbilt's 10-2, but one of their losses is to Texas, but Texas is 9-3, and Texas is beat them head to head, so they're ranked higher. Makes sense, right? But then you have Notre Dame at 10 and Miami at 12, but Miami beat Notre Dame at the beginning of the year. So why isn't Miami ahead? And I guess it's because they're not in the championship game, but
Probably that, but I mean, they also had what another bad loss to Louisville.
yeah. So here it is, right? So we think the people that we think that are in like 100% is Ohio State, Indiana,
Definitely the top four.
Georgia, huh?
Yeah, definitely the top
Georgia,
four.
Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. So the top seven, I would put Oklahoma, you're right, top eight. I'm pretty sure the top eight are pretty much guaranteed to be in, right? So that leaves uh Alabama, Notre Dame, BYU, Miami, Texas, Vanderbilt, Utah, I
Okay, but
guess they'll put in there, and
here's
then the
here's
G5.
okay. So here's my thing. And I'm just
If,
thinking out loud here. If Texas Tech blows BYU out of the water,
are they out? Right.
yes. So
Okay.
would you? Okay, so would you move in Vanderbilt or Texas?
They'll move in Miami. The reason why they'll move in Miami is because they'll want ACC representation. Because I don't think if UVA wins, I don't think they're in. And if Duke
Really?
wins, they're not in. I think they need for UVA to get in, Texas Tech needs to blow out BYU, and UVA needs to blow out Duke and
Oh
have a
yeah,
very strong showing.
yeah.
But I think they messed up by ranking Notre Dame higher than Miami because they beat them head to head. Because everybody's gonna argue, does the games matter? Yes, it was the first game of the season or whatever, but you have to take that into account. Now, if Notre Dame versus Miami were to play today, who do you pick?
Notre Dame.
Exactly. So I think,
They're on a roll.
they're a lot better of a team, I think, as well. I don't know, man. So let's play it out, right? So doomsday scenario, right? BYU beats Texas Tech. You're not dropping Texas Tech and BYU has to be in, right?
No, Texas Tech stays in regardless.
So let's say BYU wins and let's say Alabama wins because Alabama could drop. Do you think Alabama would be out if they lost the SEC championship game? Because that's another
Yes,
question.
yes.
But then why play the SEC championship game? Like why would they want to play? They could forfeit the game at this point then, and I think they would have a better shot. I agree with you. Don't, I'm not arguing. I agree with you. But why would they want to play this SEC championship game then?
I mean, to try to win to boost their
But that's what I'm
their
saying. Like
solidification.
if they're in now, but if they lose and they're out, so I think Alabama has to be in regardless, right?
What are they? What 10-2?
If they lose, yeah, they lose, they'll be 10-3. But if they're
So
out, who
they're
are you putting in over them? So say they lose to Georgia, BYU loses as well, or
all right.
BYU wins. BYU wins
What is Bama ranked? 9.
9-9.
Okay, and let's say Virginia tears Duke up. Would that make you want to slip Miami in regardless, or no? Or would you keep Bama in there because of strength of schedule and who they play?
So I think Bama stay like doomsday scenario for the college football is Duke wins, BYU and Bama lose big. They have to put in JMU and the winner of North Texas Tulane.
Well, that would be North Texas. See,
Yeah,
but see, my two that I had was going to be UVA and North Texas.
as like the 11 and 12 seed or 12, yeah, 11
Yes.
and 12 seed.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. If UVA wins by a good margin, I can see them doing that, and then they leave Miami out because you have to.
Now, if UVA has to win in overtime or wins by three,
They're not in.
that's not, they're not in. That's not putting on a good showing for the committee.
So yeah, I think this is a good problem to have because we actually have good teams. Because I can make an argument for Texas, I can make an argument for Vanderbilt, I can even make an argument for Utah to make it in as well. But they need BYU to lose. They cannot have BYU winning. If that does, then the whole Notre Dame versus Miami conversation is going to happen. And they need, I don't know for the ACC. I don't think it matters for the ACC. I think we're going to get two G5 schools in. So that's the other question here is because of this conundrum. Now we would have had this if it was a 14 playoff, but the conference championships would have been a lot more heavily weighted, right? But if we the two options that I've seen floated around here are having a separate G5 playoff to where G5 doesn't get a representative, or move the amount of spots to 16. Do either of those fit better for you, or do you like this 12 format, 12 team format?
I kind of want to see more teams in it because what if? Here's my thing with that when I say this, not taking away from anything G5 related or whatever. But let's say you get two programs and
It's
you
two
got a
easy
16.
wins.
Yeah, no. But I'm just saying, what if you do a 16 team playoff? But what if one team gets hot at the right time,
Right.
like March Madness, and they go all the way
No,
to a championship game?
no, I think I'm with you as well. I don't want a separate G5 playoff because I think G5 needs to be represented here. I think a 16 team playoff
But my thing is,
most seasons would be good.
My
But
thing with the G5 is though, is they're playing. I mean, they're playing Division One opponents. It's not like they're playing
right.
a William and Mary. I mean, on their strength of schedule. I mean, not strength of schedule, but outside of their conferences. I mean, you got a JMU who would travel to NC State. You got a JMU team that would travel to North Carolina.
Well, they almost beat Louisville. This like if they had a healthy Alonzo
Exactly.
Barnett, they would have beaten Louisville.
Okay, and they played Louisville. It's not like they're dropping down.
Right.
They're still a Division One program, but they're in their conference playing, let's say, a weaker conference. Okay, but look at the other side. The teams that they're playing outside of their conferences are major D1 programs.
Right. USF versus Florida and Miami this year.
So, I mean, that's just my opinion.
So I think a 16 would be interesting. Another thing I think would be kind of cool is if you have a season like this, that the committee has the option to say, hey, let's have a playing game. Because who wouldn't want to see, say, Miami or say UVA wins, right? So if for UVA to make it in there, they have to beat North Texas or they have to beat Tulane. And then we'll also have to see for the final spot, Miami versus Notre Dame to make it into the 12 team.
So instead of a 16 team, you would
Have
do
two play-ins for the final
one
two
playing
spots.
like a March Madness.
So that could be another option that might be fun because I feel like what you could do is the highest rated three seeds, right, or three conference winners, which would be SEC, Big Ten, Big 12 most likely, or SEC, Big Ten, and then either Big 12 or ACC, depending on where they're ranked. One they flip flop on who's the worst conference, and then the winner of the Big 12 versus the winner of the G5 to go to the playoff is one of them, and then two out-large bids go in there as another potential bid. I feel like that might be fun, like a fun little twist to it. That way, one, hear me out. That way, one, you have the G5 representative in there, and two, you also have the opportunity to get better teams into the 12 team playoff and remove that G5 program.
Yeah, I can see it.
So just a playing game might be good if they want to try to get rid of the G5. I just worry that they're going to, and I don't want to see that. Like I don't mind the FCS playoffs. I love how that is. That's the 24 teams. I think a 16 team might be a little too large, but also I wouldn't be opposed to it for most years. Last year, the 16 team C team, we didn't need it. Like we didn't need that at all because every team in the first round got blown out. They weren't good. But I think there's more parity in the league this year, and I think that's going to continue to show, especially if you have teams like Virginia Tech come into prominence like they are, or like Auburn coming back like you think they are with Golish, right? What happens if Florida gets hot? What happens if LSU gets hot with Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss decides, their head or their defensive coordinator is still as good as Lane Kiffin and they still do well? Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State's doing really, really well there, and I think he's going to probably end up winning, 8, 9, 10 wins next year. Like, or Willie Stein too. He gets 10 wins at Kentucky. Like, I feel like you're right. The 16 team playoff might be the way to go.
I just would think the 16 team playoffs would be better because it's more football, considering that it's
Yeah.
12 weeks a year anyway.
The only thing I will say that they need to do is they need to not wait. Like we're waiting 3 weeks after conference championship for
No, that's what I'm saying. If you
move it
can
up.
keep a good guy, give him a week after conference championships, then you roll into it.
Yeah, still keep Army Navy,
And,
and then at the start
and
of bowl season, every weekend you play the games.
yes, you have a major bowl game, major playoff game at night. Play the
Yep.
bowl game.
And I think they could do it to where if we look at the calendar, they could do it to where the championship game's on, New Year's Eve weekend, and then you can still have like the Rose Bowl as like the championship game, or
Yeah,
semifinals even. So, all right, well, that's the show for
that's
this.
another thing. That's another thing too. They need to put the national championship game on a Saturday,
Yeah, it's on.
on
Well,
Monday.
is it on a Monday this year?
It has been what the last 10 years,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
twenty.
Well, yeah. The reason why they do that is because NFL playoffs. So,
No, who cares?
well, that's what I'm saying. If you move it up, you don't run into that problem. So.
Yeah,
All right, well, that's the show this week, guys. We're going to take next week off, and then we'll be back for the beginning of bowl season and then beginning of playoffs. So, um, more to come here. We'll talk more about playoffs. We'll do our playoff prediction when it comes out, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks.